Hey, welcome back. And if this is your first time here, welcome to Caribbean Sentiments. Today we're taking a little field trip. Um, I live in Brooklyn, as I said before, and one of the things I love about living in Brooklyn is that it's never short on things to do. And because Brooklyn is the epicenter for Caribbean culture, it never short on Caribbean related things to do. So I'm very excited about where I'm going. The flavor syrup brand Caribe Co is having a pop-up right here in my neighborhood of Bed-Stuy, which is why I'm walking, and that's where we're going today. I've been following this brand for a while. I love their syrups. I even gifted them to my cousin who likes to have flavored syrups in her coffees, and she loved it. But I also love how she's taken Caribbean culture and infused it into something that she saw was missing in the market, and I really admire that. And she's a young black woman from Rhode Island with Caribbean roots, so of course we have to support. Savannah, the creator of Caribe Co, recently won the 2006 Creative Consumer Goods Award with Black Women in Food. So she's making moves within her market, and again, I really admire that. The pop-up is taking place at the Greenhouse Cafe at the Seed on Bedford Avenue, so there we go. And we're here. Here's a look at the signature drinks that were being served at today's event. All flavors I love, so I know it's gonna be hard for me to choose. But let's get into this space. The first thing that hits you is the aesthetic. It's rare to find a spot that feels this lush and botanical, but it was the perfect backdrop for what Savannah is building with Caribe Co. As a fellow founder, I was just taking it all in, the branding, the flow of the room, and how the community was interacting with the product. Seeing this much intentionality behind a Caribbean brand is next level. Now let's talk about the setup, the tasting tables. Check out how the syrups are lined up and the samples are prepped and ready to go for people to just take them as they walk by. And the range of syrups, the chocolate rum cream, the passion fruit, the coconut drop. This is me tasting the passion fruit matcha, and it was hitting. And now it's time for a little session. Everybody out there, so they get the cards. Let's take another walk around the space because I am loving the branding for this event. Caribe Co was everywhere, and it was such a beautiful thing to see. I love that they were showing you that there are a range of flavors outside of the 3 that are being offered at the Greenhouse Cafe. So if by chance none of those flavors appeal to you, then there's something else out there for you. A flavor or 2 or 3 or 4. More samples were brought out, and I was able to try all 3 of the drinks and then make a decision as to what I wanted to get. So I'm here at the cafe having my drink made, and I decided to go with the chocolate rum mocha. See how he just gave me an extra splash of chocolate rum cream? Loving it. While the samples were all hot, I decided to get my drink iced because I love me an iced coffee when the temperatures start to get up there. And cold or hot, you can't go wrong. It tasted just as good as it did hot, so I have no regrets about getting it iced. All in all, it was phenomenal. Cheers! So I'm back home, and I have to be honest, I almost didn't go. I wasn't feeling my best this morning, and you know how you plan to go somewhere, but the day and the time comes, and then you lie in your bed contemplating, I can get up and get dressed, I can put on clothes, I can leave the house. I was dealing with all of that, but in the end, I got up, I got dressed, and I went. And I'm really glad that I did because I had an amazing time, and I was happy to be able to go and support another Caribbean woman-owned business, and the energy there was unmatched, and I kind of needed that energy. So again, really good time, and I was really inspired. I know I've said that a lot, but that's the truth. It was really just inspiring to see how this brand has sort of like grown into what it is and what it's becoming, and I know it's becoming something really big. But I'm feeding off that energy to jump into some things that I've been working on, and what's been on my plate now for the past couple of weeks is my Father's Day collection. We know Father's Day is right around the corner, and I've been working on some designs for a while now, but the thing about me is that I just tweak my designs up until the last second before I send them to the printer. And that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. So I have a total of 6 designs, and I love every one of them, but strategically, just from a business standpoint, I don't think it's going to be beneficial for me to get all 6 printed. So I kind of need to make some decisions on which ones to get printed, and I would love to hear your feedback on what you all think about the designs. So of the 6 designs, I actually have one already printed because I had a store that wanted to have some. So I already printed this one. So this is like the compliment to Mommy Madras. I named him Madras Man. I am not the best at naming my cards. So if you have a suggestion for a better name for him, drop it down in the comments, please. So yeah, this is Madras Man. He's already printed. So that leaves me with 5 designs to decide which of those to get printed. I feel like if I do 4, then I might as well do 5 and maybe just do a smaller run, or I need to pick the top 3 of the 5. So come with me to my computer to look at what these other designs are. I could give you some background on what the inspiration was, and then y'all can tell me which ones I should get printed. So let's jump right in. First up is the Because of You Father's Day card. Again, open to name suggestions. Just let me know down in the comments. This card is about all the lessons that we learned from our dads, but more specifically our Caribbean dads. So if you look at the text that's on the front of the card, you see all these different things that you know how to do because of your father, right? How to be at the airport on time, give yourself that 8-10 hour window because you know they don't play around about being late to the airport. How to slam domino hard when you have a good hand, how to lime hard but still get work done, which is a personal lesson that I learned from my father. And then on the inside, a message that says, thank you for the lessons, the laughter, and the love. This is actually one of my favorites. And there's a complimentary card for Mother's Day with the same design in the front, but in different colors. Next up, we're going to go with guidance. Again, all of these cards are my favorite, but I really love this one because it's so sentimental. It's a child holding the finger of a dad and is looking for guidance. And if you're still fortunate enough to have your dad, you're probably still looking for that guidance now too. I love that the image itself is very simple, and when it's paired with the words inside, it makes it really special. So when we scroll down and we see it says, in every step, you are the firm ground I walk on. Thank you for keeping things steady. Big up yourself today and always. So when you put that message together with the image on the front, yeah. Again, all of these are my favorite, but I think this is one of my favorites. Next up is Slammin Dominoes. Again, I ain't a fan of this name, so if you have a better name suggestion, please let me know. But this card was really inspired by my dad and my grandfather. I think about all the times, and really just Caribbean men in general. When you think about how that's such a big pastime, right? Men sitting around the table playing dominoes, drinking beer, slamming the cards hard on the table when they know that they're about to put on something really good. And so just this card is just coming from all of those images and all of those memories. This is a more casual Father's Day card. It ain't like a sentimental, lovey-dovey, sappy type of card. So if your father or grandfather is the type of man who isn't in for the sentiment, but you just want to get him something, the message inside says, cool bear, a good hand, and the best dad around. Wishing you a winning Father's Day. Because, winning the domino game. Again, all these cards are my favorite. And because this makes me think about my dad and my grandfather, a lot of sentimental feelings, even though the card itself isn't about that. So next up is Many Vibes. That's what I named this card. Open to names. This card is saying all the things. I can call you many different things. And then it lists all these, like, I could call you Bacchanals, I could call you Boss, I could call you Root Boy, I could call you Lima. And then we go to the message on the inside. And it says, but dad is the one that fits you best. So this isn't necessarily a card to give to your dad, but it could be given to someone who is a dad that's in your life. So I see this card being for younger people. I'll be honest, I thought about my brother when I was designing this card. So yeah. And last but definitely not least, we're going to look at Deh Legend. This card is literally inspired by my grandfather. I saw the image of the guy sitting on the chair and I was like, I have to use this. Because my grandfather would sit in his recliner by the window and he would watch TV or he would look out at the ocean. Radio on, radio always on. Cup of tea in them camper type mugs. Get he biscuits, get he radio. Pack of newspapers, because old people just still read newspapers. And then the driver's cap. Like I had to put him in a driver's cap. And then on the inside, it says, to the man who taught us how to stand tall and walk with pride. Your wisdom is our compass and your stories are our treasure. Happy Father's Day. So it's very sentimental. It's really for that patriarch in your family. If you're fortunate enough to still have your grandfather, I don't. but for that patriarch in your family, and maybe you could give it to your dad too. So yeah, that's it. Tell me your top 3 down in the comments.